Apologies for the slightly late start. I was just collecting everybody together. My name's Webbo. I'm your commentator tonight. We've got it's Division 1 night, or at least mostly Division 1, shall we say. But joining us in commentary as usual in Division 1 is Branch. Hey, Branch. Good to have you back again. Difficult race yesterday around this fiendishly difficult short circuit.
Yeah, this is a very unique track on the F1 calendar. If Monaco is a Temple of Speed, this is its evil step cousin. It it's very fast. There are very few corners where you go slow. There's a lot of high speed corners on this track, and that makes the race a lot more difficult because there are not a lot of chances for you to charge your battery, so you have to use it wisely.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of deployment, not a lot of harvesting. It's all about who can save it better. And what about strategy last night? How did that work out for you?
We saw the soft medium strategy work pretty well.
Right.
At least from the front runners, they were able to do that. I would expect the same in Division 1.
Sure. Okay. We'll see if anyone dares do any different tonight. It's as I say, mostly Division 1 tonight. We do have a few drivers who had better offers of things to do tonight, including our new champion. So we won't get to talk to Prime tonight, sadly. But that does mean that it gives a fairly good chance to the rest of the field branch tonight.
Yeah, we will. I mean, at this point, Prime has already won the championship, so doesn't necessarily need to be here, and because of that, we will get to see the talents of the rest of the drivers.
Absolutely. We will have pole specialist FedEx runner taking part tonight. I think first on track though is BMW Oosterdijk, one of our editors and key reserve drivers. So he'll be taking part tonight. I know Oosterdijk has plenty of ideas about things we can do in the league and how we can change things, but we don't get to see him all that often on track. So looking forward to that tonight. They won't get a lot of chance to warm up the tyres either on this quite short track branch. Is that a challenge?
It is actually a challenge. You do need to make sure you're getting your tires warmed up when you get out here, because if you don't, you will head into turn 1 with very cold tires.
Yeah.
That's never a good thing.
Definitely not. So, but you can go really aggressive. You don't have to save your tyres through the lap at least. You can kind of go relatively full speed. Oh, he goes very wrong on the start of his... very wide on the start of the lap. Maybe that was deliberate, but I was expecting to see an invalidation this early.
Yeah. This track is very easy to invalidate on.
Right.
I expect to see a lot of penalties like we did in Division 2 yesterday. Oosterdijk actually did race in Division 2 yesterday, qualified 4th.
Okay.
A very respectable time. I think he finished 6th, so he had a pretty good race overall.
Well, we'll see the practice effect and maybe the difference between the leagues. If he managed 4th place yesterday, what has he managed tonight? We only have, I think, 9 full-time Division 1 drivers with us, but a field of 15 at this point in the season, I'm starting to think is actually a relatively respectable turnout. I don't know, from other leagues.
Pretty late in the season, we started to see a bit of drop-off in attendance, which is understandable, but hopefully that will be able to see an uptick in Season 2.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, BMW Oosterdijk about to cross the line at 103.5. That looks pretty respectable. It was I think pole yesterday was a 103.4.
Oh, yeah. I definitely expect to see a 102 in this at least.
Okay.
Because while pole yesterday was a 103.4. I know personally I actually had a lot more pace in there. I probably could have had a 103.1
Wow.
had I not included a couple laps, so
yeah.
I would expect to see a lot more. Oh, there we go. We just saw one.
Okay, so there that goes. Right, 102.8. I'm just watching with FedEx Runner and see the bulk of his lap at least. I know FedEx had an opportunity to commentate last night, but about to cross the line. 103.3 beats yesterday's pole, but is a good half a second off his teammate FedEx Runner. This represents for AlphaTauri a real opportunity for them to try and catch Haas in the championship standings and cement the championship for these two drivers. They had an absolute nightmare of a race in Singapore last time out, but hopefully without Prime around tonight. I understand it's a very rare 25-degree day in Finland, and I can certainly understand, knowing how rare it is in the UK to get those temperatures. In Finland I think it's even rarer, so I can see why perhaps Prime is making use of the good weather out there.
Yeah, I spoke to FedEx about that, what you were talking about just a second ago, the constructors, and he said that was their biggest mission today, was to have the highest possible point output as a team. Just to make sure that they can secure the constructors as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly want to look at some awards for postseason, and you know, thinking about kind of teamwork of the year or team spirit of the year. I think it'd be difficult to pick somebody over AlphaTauri, because they have been working incredibly well together.
I would say Diddle and Ben in Division 2 will also be maybe a challenger of them, but yeah, in terms of just like absolute, yeah, these guys are definitely the best team that we've seen in Division 1.
So Wongfi goes P5 there in the Renault. We'll have your expertise talking us through a lap the next time, perhaps. Let's say perhaps when Dawidek next hits the track. But currently the order is Dawidek from FedEx with Renko, Oostebir, Wongfi, Lankavas, David and Pricey, the last of the completed times. I know Lightning was just out on track but invalidated his first attempt, which is not the best start to the session for him. Fry Pepper, I think, about to light the touch paper and go for it. He's usually pretty good value for a lap watch. Hi to everyone joining us on the stream. Carrera fans here watching, so hi to you, and let us know who your pick is tonight if you're watching us on the stream. It'd be good to check in with you all. Are you seeing anything that's catching your interest at the moment, Branch?
Dawidek is on his out lap right now, going through sector 2.
Great. We'll go catch up with him. Yeah. Just see how Fry Pepper does. But I don't want to miss Dawidek's potential pole. Second run might be the best it comes. Maybe you could talk us through his approach to the end of the lap here, Branch.
Well, coming through that last corner, you have to carry as much speed as possible. It's really easy to invalidate. You kept it right on the edge there, pretty good. This first corner is also one of the more difficult ones on the track. Through 5th gear, you kind of just have to let the car rotate. Just barely miss that curve. This is one of those tracks where you have to be on edge through every single corner, and we'll see that a lot with Dawidek. He has the qualifying pace. This is the most difficult corner on the circuit. An uphill right-hander, even just the slightest little bit of extra throttle, and you are in the wall. Coming through here now, where we saw Lewis Hamilton bin Alex Albon in the first race of the 2020 season. Heading through one of my favorite parts of the circuit. 2 left-handers, both are very quick, very little braking used. We're just barely catching the curve on the exit.
He's on the limit, isn't he?
Every little bit of track is under him right now. Wow! Unbelievable. This is going to be a great lap. Going to the line and a 1:02.6.
He improves by 1.5 tenths. Great lap. Really great lap from Dawidek. That could be pole, and it deposes FedEx down to 4th. So that's a pretty dramatic drop after Fry Pepper and Josh in the Red Bulls have joined. Both of these guys are not people who've seen the bulk of the season with us. Lightning's going through. He's a second over Dawadek's time through sector 1. That's all about the first corner, and Dawadek looked to be really on it through that first corner.
Yeah, that he just about kept it right on the limit for that first corner. He can't go too wide because there is an odd little elevation change that is just off the circuit. So you have, while you do want to be taking up as much of the track as possible, using as much curb, you have to be careful, because if you go a little bit too wide, that curb or that bump will bounce your car and you will lose tons of time.
Yeah. So I'm assuming with a soft-medium strategy over 50% distance, tyre degradation's not a huge factor here?
I would say it's definitely not that big of a deal. Around the end of the race, you'll see the medium tires will probably be around 60 to 65%. Pretty worn, but it's definitely worth it over the lap to have those mediums on over the hard tires.
Yeah.
Maybe we might see a few runners who are worried about that tire degradation, wanting a little bit more at the end.
Waitsy loses the car, really pushing hard here. I think he was under his time. It has caused an invalidation, and he made contact with the barrier, sadly, just to make sure that the stream know who it was that we were sitting with. But yeah, Waitsy just made a mistake, so he needs to get out there and put in a safe lap. I think he's got time for potentially 2 more runs, so he can afford a little bit of margin on the first run just to make sure he gets a time in there. He doesn't want to be starting down in P12.
Yeah, the good thing about this track is that there is a lot of overtaking opportunities.
Yeah.
Pretty much every heavy braking zone provides one of those. So starting at the back, or starting on the medium tires is not necessarily a bad thing, but strategy is not huge here. So
quite a lot of runoff areas as well, either gravel or huge tarmac runoff areas, which will allow drivers to push pretty hard without fear of too much in the way of barrier contact or race-ending damage.
Yeah, that is true. I just watched FedEx. He was on a very fast lap going into the last corner, and he got the really unfortunate invalidation of not only validating the current lap he was on, but also his next
not the
lap.
next one. That's It's a lap. You were talking in the lap guide there with Dawadek that it's all about maximising that final corner, but you've got to leave some sort of margin, because there's nothing worse than invalidating a lap before it's even begun.
Yeah, that turn can really catch you up, because the biggest problem with it is that there is a giant sausage curb sitting right on the apex, and you have to miss it, because if you hit it, your car will thud and you will get sent directly off the track.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you're just to the left of that, but you also have to make sure you're maximizing track where you're putting your car. So there's somewhat of a compromise that has to be made between sending it and not sending it, I guess.
So Dawadek, back on another hot lap. I think he's made a couple of mistakes. I think he's pushing incredibly hard. Through the first sector, he was as far up as he was over the whole of the previous lap, over like almost a tenth and a half, and then he lost it all through the first braking zone in sector 2. So he has that ability now to absolutely go for broke. Pricey's on a good first sector in the Ferrari.
Dawadek almost put it in the wall just now.
Yeah, I felt like he was kind of throwing caution to the wind at this point. I thought maybe we'll be able to see another driver jump up the standings if we watch them. Pricey gets a purple middle sector, a tenth and a half down on his best time, but the times are very tight, Branch, down to 13th place here.
Absolutely, and that's to be expected. This is the shortest lap in terms of time on the calendar, so there's going to be a
wow. Pricey immediately up to second place. No wonder with that purple middle sector. My apologies for cutting across you, but that was dramatic change from P13 up to P2 for Pricey. Really, really good.
Just how much quicker Dawidek is right now. That was a great lap from Pricey. He is still 5.5 minutes behind Dawidek.
What about track evolution? Are we actually seeing right now a degree of the track improvement just in this short session?
That, and also it's really easy to get a lot of laps in. Obviously, the lap time is very short, so it's pretty easy to get a lap done, go in, change your setup, or not change your setup, but check and see if you made a mistake on the lap, just know where it is. And
Waitsy on a purple middle now, stole the purple middle from Pricey, heading for the line. A 103.1 gets a second place.
Oh.
It looks like Dawidek is comparatively slow through that middle sector. What's that about in terms of setup, Branch? What is he favouring?
I'd have to say he's probably favouring straight line speed because middle sector encompasses that really slow turn 3, which I believe is the slowest turn on the circuit, and the turn 4 as well is also pretty slow. So he's most likely really not favouring the downforce.
So really trimmed out for those long straights, potentially.
Yes. And it works well in the high-speed corners because you don't necessarily need tons of downforce, and sometimes the engine can kind of push you through a corner.
They're kind of slightly banked, aren't they? And there's also an element to which you can. They're not particularly long high-speed corners either. So yeah, you can live with it if you can get the front end in. You can kind of live with it. I think the track topography helps you out a little bit. As David goes P8. With a 103.4, but really the gap between second and 14th is now 0.5 of a second, Branch.
That's unbelievable.
That really is something we haven't seen before in terms of field condensation. Lankavas is coming through, making improvements so far through sector 2. Crosses the line, good improvement, a 1/10.5, which in the context of the Red Bull Ring is pretty special. P7 for him. So currently Dawidek from Waitsy, Pricey. Waitsy's decided that's it, I'm not doing any more than that. We're down to the final runs, I think, now. I'm keen to see what FedEx runner has actually got in response to his teammate at the moment. Let's ride with him.
He's on a fast lap, but I think he may have backed off.
Yeah, he's definitely backed off. I think he's ready for a final run very soon. I'm sure he'll come in now. I'm sure he'll just cruise to the line, not get in anybody's way, and then really go for it. Dawidek has come out, he's on an outlap, so we'll hang with FedEx until he is not improving any further.
And that is the benefit of this track as well, is that if you do mess up a lap, it's pretty easy to back off, recharge your battery, and go again.
Awesome. So FedEx purples the first sector, actually beats Dawidek in that first sector.
That can be big. I don't know exactly how much pace FedEx has here, but he looks pretty quick.
Big lockup, misses the apex by about a meter into turn 2. We'll call the big stops the turns rather than these little. It's turn 4. He purples the middle sector, 0.4 under his current time. So he's purpled the first 2 sectors of the lap. We'll stay with FedEx runner as he comes through these last couple of corners, just down to 6th for the penultimate corner, 5th through the final corner, playing it safe. P2 gets under the 103s, but really Dawidek has the measure of the field in that final sector, unquestionably. Trunders improves but stays 15th. Let's see our top drivers. Snarf is going no faster at all. Pricey about to cross the line, jumps to 3rd with a 103.0, tantalisingly close to the end. And Frypepper, great call, yeah, absolutely. What about Lightning? Lightning's invalidated his last run and will start no better than 13th, sadly. It looks like our drivers are on the way in. I don't think anybody else is improving.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. Everybody else is either invalidated or they're sitting in the pits. I think Lightning's going to be pretty upset with that one. And
Yeah,
are we seeing a little bit of
definitely.
overcast clouds develop here? I haven't had a weather forecast yet.
Yeah, it does look like it's starting to get a little bit dark. This is one of those tracks that you can expect to see rain at.
Yeah, it's surrounded by forest, isn't it? So
yeah, so that would make this really interesting, and it will be pretty interesting to see what. I mean, obviously, I think Dowdeck has a dry setup on. I don't think you would be able to do a 1026 with a wet setup on your car. So it would be interesting to see if we get rain, what kind of adjustments these drivers would have to make, because you can still carry a lot of speed through the corners on a wet track here. It's pretty easy to. This is one of the better tracks on the calendar in terms of being able to keep it going with a wet setup.
okay, yeah. You can make gains where downforce is at a premium, particularly in the braking zones through those two fast left-handers potentially. But yeah, and then the straights are long, but they're not so long that you're at Vmax for too long a period. Possibly. So
Yeah,
Pricey on his way in.
Just the way it's built, it provides a lot of clean and aggressive racing.
Yeah, it's got a good flow and a rhythm and an identity of its own, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. So, Branch, maybe take us through the grid for us, please.
Alright, we have Dowdeck and FedEx Runner starting P1 and P2, the teammates, and then Pepper in third, although it looks like he has a 5-place grid penalty, so he will probably drop back. And Pricey in fourth with Pepper's teammate Josh in fifth. Waitsy in 6th, Snarf in 7th, Lankavas in 8th, Wongfi in 9th, and David, 99, runs out the top 10. Following him is the McLaren of Renko, BMW Oosterveer, Lightning, Senna, Trunders, and then finally Ivan, who did not set a time.
Yeah, I think Ivan was maybe a little bit late to the party tonight. I expect Lightning to be moving up. I'm kind of looking to Waitsy tonight to get on the podium. Anybody else you think particularly out of position?
I'd have to. I was expecting Oosterveer to be a little bit higher, but looking back on it, I think he got actually almost the exact same qualifying time as he did in Division 2. It's just that's just the difference between Division 1 and Division 2.
It is looking more overcast. Certainly the sun isn't out on the track. We will find out the weather if one of our drivers lets us know. If not, we will find it out as it appears on screen. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for raindrops. I'm looking at some of the crowd. They've got their hoods up, some of them.
Yeah, I do see that could mean rain. I don't know if the game actually does that on purpose.
I don't know. Have you seen some of the images from Spa this weekend that have been going around online?
It was incredible. I've never seen anything like that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, the Spa completely flooded. I saw, the under track tunnels overfull, water running down La Source. Quite an incredible sight. But yeah, nothing like. I don't think even Codemasters would plan for anything quite like that on the tracks.
Yeah, that was a pretty extreme example of wet weather. Yeah, I don't think you could expect to see that in any code match, let alone in real life, to be fair.
No, I mean we've seen some tornadoes delaying play at Suzuka particularly, I know, but yeah, that was kind of spectacular. I think we've had snowflakes in Canada, but nothing particularly bad that day.
Yeah. Well, we are they're bringing the field around. It's a very quick formation lap, like we talked earlier. It's you have to actually make sure you're warming up your tires, because if you don't, that could cause you to have cold tires at the start, and that could prove to be a problem as you go into the first corner. Obviously, the track position is not necessarily king here. You can kind of sit back and just stay within DRS range and build a race that way.
I think one of the things that track position does for you on the grid more than most places is helps you avoid the melees at the start. Potentially that first corner across the two sausage curbs, one on the inside, one on the outside, can really cause havoc with the start of a race.
Yeah, there is a big potential of carnage, as they would say. So it is good to have as much track position as possible to avoid that.
So we've got 16 runners in our penultimate race for Division 1 tonight. We certainly hope to have a full field for next week. But Dawadek from FedEx Runner, Dawadek will be on the outside on the entry into Turn 1. We've got Pricey, Josh, Waitsy, Snarf, Lankavas, Fry Pepper, Wong Feet and David making out your top 10. We'll have a look at tyres in a moment. We'll just watch the start of the race. We've got the lights building. And it's lights out and go, go, go at the Red Bull ring. It looks like Pricey away well, getting everything, all the elbows out for against FedEx Runner, running Dawadek out wide. He's got the inside line now, heading down the hill towards the first of our big stops. He's already fully ahead, Branch, with everybody through fairly safely at this point. The Red Bull in 4th place, just weaving around, trying to put off Waitsy, who's got himself up to 5th. But a pretty good start from our drivers so far.
Yeah, pretty clean so far. The Red Bull of Josh and Waitsy are really having a battle right now.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of room to play around with people at this track. It's not one of the wider ones. But Waitsy has left a little sniff of a tempter on the inside, and Josh gets by without contact for the first time in 3 corners. But Waitsy down to 5th again. The Red Bull behind him with Fry Pepper making a move on Snarf, and Snarf getting it all wrong through the penultimate corner. But all action on the first lap, and thankfully all runners still going round, with David the big loser, Lightning the big winner, up to P7 from 13th. Fantastic start for Lightning, wow. So yeah, drama definitely for our Alfa Romeo drivers involved in all of it, and I would love to see that first lap from the perspective of Lightning again after the race.
Oh, you know, unfortunately, I think that might have been a glitch. I think he was actually having to...
I don't know, because maybe so. We had a big glitch at the front of the field as well shortly ago. So I was hoping that it's going to turn right for him, but I think you might be right, sadly. Identical gaps between Pricey and Dawadek and FedEx Runner at the moment. Again, probably a glitch. They haven't moved for several corners, with Josh behind in the Red Bull.
Yeah, that was an incredible start by Price. He got off the line. I just shot off the line.
Yeah.
Up the inside of Dawadek, and then I just had the pace to beat him through the first corner. I assume. Oh, there he goes with the penalty though.
Pricey with a penalty. Both the Alfa Romeos made big gains through that first corner. I wonder if they're sharing a setup. Wouldn't be the first time, as FedEx Runner has to go off track to avoid his teammate, who rejoins his racing line after making a feint on the inside of Pricey. So FedEx Runner very awake to not running into his teammate there, but losing time as a result.
Yeah, this is all about maximizing points for them, so there's no reason for them to really be battling.
Surprising number of drivers in the bottom of the field running around on softs. Only Lightning started on the mediums, which probably explains his relatively slow run into P12, and Ivan started on hards, just going with a completely different strategy, maybe relying on a mid or late race safety car, which is a big gamble in a place like the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, that's not a super big thing to expect at a place like this, a safety car. But maybe, I don't know.
Comes Dawadek for the lead into the second corner. Sorry, Branch, but Dawadek takes the lead under the brakes. Nicely positioning the car. Made a fairly late move, and Pricey had no answer, but now he's defending. I think he's going to get it, keep the place through turn 3, and I now kind of expect Dawidek to go back onto plan A and disappear into the lead.
Yeah, although it will be difficult because he's going to have to get out of DRS range from Pricey, because the DRS is pretty big here, but he's gained a lot of time already on the Ferrari. It looks like he might be able to get out of DRS range.
0.8 in 2 corners, Branch. That's quite big, isn't it?
It is pretty big at a track like this where the lap time is so small. I think Pricey does have DRS, and he's going to gain a lot of that time back down the straight, and again on the next straight.
Absolutely. FedEx Runner's best chance to overtake Pricey was just after he'd been compromised with Dawidek, but he did lose a little bit of time. Perhaps Pricey making the decision, actually, it's better to not lose 2 or 3 places by fighting too hard. Allow the place to be taken and then stay with them and potentially pressure them back again. With the DRS strength here, it might be a wiser decision just to let somebody by and try and stay with them, do you think?
Yeah, this is what we saw in the Division 2 race. There was a 3-way battle between Dale Ben and Carrera Fan, I believe. And all of them just, the entirety of the race, they were all within a second of each other, just constantly passing each other and giving up positions, just trying to make sure that they stayed together.
Fry Pepper just going around the outside of Snarf, being side by side through the fast switchback corners, but hasn't made the move to stick. So living with him, but the closest battle on track as Fry Pepper loses the car in the dirty air under traction, turns the car around, hits the barrier. He's now going to action a spin turn as the other Ferrari of Trunda's pits already on lap 6. Fry Pepper very sensibly, but very unfortunately for him, having to let the entire field by their Branch just after the pit lane entry as well.
Yeah, that is a tough place to spin right there. I don't normally see people spin in that particular section of the track. I'm not sure how he did that.
So he was under 2/10 on the way into the final corner. Is that dirty air, or is that just being unsighted for the apex and the bump on the outside?
That is probably dirty air, and that he probably went wide because that little area just off of the racing line can be pretty dirty and create a lot of spins.
Further down the field, Senna looks like... I was going to say Senna's making a move on Lightning, but Lightning, is he off the track? Yeah.
I think he's off the track.
Oh, Lightning down to 14th on those medium tyres, so he's not ready to pit either. I think his car's intact. It might just be a simple spin for Lightning, unfortunately. Red Bull Ring not being kind to him as Dawidek catches a penalty and is now equal with Pricey. This is going to feed into FedEx Runner's normal MO, which is run around clean and fast. And stay with the drivers there,
This is going to play well into FedEx, because if it were to end right now, he would end up picking up the win. So I guess for him, the idea now is just to make sure you stay within DRS range, keep it clean, and don't get any penalties.
Yeah. Lankavas is close to Snarf. Waitsy is close to Renko. I think Renko has had some connection problems, so that might feed into some issues for Waitsy trying to pass him. We've got a sector 2 and 3 yellow flag. No, not again. Pricey has made a mistake potentially. He's certainly lost his front wing.
FedEx is doing virtual safety car.
And Josh and Pricey both pit. Pricey will have to go in for repairs, so this will be a lot. Smashes the.
Destroys that brake.
Is he headed for retirement? Is he driving into the pits angry? I wonder. He's just lost a huge amount of places. Waitsy chose that moment to pit as well. So lots of our soft runners have pitted. Josh comes out on Hard's Branch in the Red Bull.
Yeah, that is a bit of an interesting call. Obviously, this is fairly early, I would say, to pit. In this race, we saw in Division 2 it was around lap 12 and 15 was the pit window. So maybe the medium tires probably would not last the whole race. As Fry Pepper is retired, that's in sector 3. I don't know where that would be at.
Yeah, unfortunately, the moment that they that they DNF, we lose their feed and we can't join their car to see what's going on. So looks like catastrophic moment for Pepper. We haven't had a safety car, just a quick yellow flag and a dive into the pits for Pricey while we lost Pepper in the intervening period. But the current order then, Dawidek from FedEx Runner, and FedEx Runner I'm sure would be pretty happy just to follow his teammate and get less penalties than him.
Yeah, he's still within...
Excuse me, Renko just bump running Lankaras into turn 1. Both drivers managed to carry on, but I thought we were going to have drama there as Renko just slammed into the back of Lankaras's Racing Point.
Bumper cars a bit, you know?
Yeah. They do say Rubbin's racing, but not really in Formula 1. Rubbing is steward's inquiry, generally speaking, I find, in Formula 1. But Lankaras very, very close behind Snarf. Snarf's tyres not responding well to his inputs at the moment. Lankaras enjoying the tyres a little bit more. So big and close gaps here. Here comes Lankaras on the outside through the penultimate corner. That's the first time I've seen that move, Branch.
Yeah, that is not a typical place to pass.
No, ballsy move from Lankaras. So up to third for him.
Oh no, it looks like Renko may have backed off a bit. Maybe waiting for this next straight here.
Yeah, waiting for DRS. He cuts over the apex of turn 1 quite aggressively to try and get a good run on the way out, but it looks like Snarf has got a great run on Lankaras. Will he go to the inside? He goes to the inside. Lankaras going for the switchback, but Snarf effectively stops on the outside of the corner, forcing Lankaras. Yeah.
That was a pretty nice move by Snarf there, I will say. Oh, this
We're about to go 3 wide.
2 lockups.
Lankaras manages to emerge from turn 3 safely into turn 4, taking a completely different line. Will avoid the dirty air for that corner, running wide through the next one. I was really surprised to see Snarf come back at him with such precision there.
Yeah, this is a great battle going on right now.
Really, really good.
These 2 drivers right now. We lost that lead battle. I assume FedEx had to back off to avoid Pricey. Snarf drags Lankaras all the way to the inside, side by side. I can't believe they kept it on the track. Lankaras takes the position.
That's great racing. Renko's going to get involved as well. Look down the outside.
Snarf did not have DRS, so he really lost out from that one. Renko diving up the inside.
Renko going for 2 places in 1 straight. He's not quite made it, but it looks like he will get it done. I think he's the only one with DRS here.
There's no ERS, unfortunately, so it looks like Lankaras able to keep this, and Lankaras locking up. Wow,
nice driving, leaving enough racing room from both drivers. Very respectful. It is only lap 11, and they're being pretty sensible about this, but they're definitely entertaining us, Branch.
Yeah, this is also at the end of their stint. Their tires have to be close to dead right now. So they are really pushing the limits of these cars right at the moment.
So how far did we see drivers get last night in Division 2 on those soft tires?
Lap 13, I believe, was the latest we saw pits. So maybe 14 or 15, but that's really pushing these tires. I would expect to see most people coming alright pretty close to right now, as we see Senna coming in.
I'm just going to confirm the penalty situation. 6 seconds for Dawidek right now. So Dawidek in a net 2nd place with penalties as we watch Lankaras lose out to Renko. And I think this one is going to run this battle. They're all going to probably pit at similar times. We haven't seen any of our leading runners elect to pit just yet. So all the top 5 are the... Go ahead, no, you go for it.
This is kind of what we saw in Division 2 yesterday, of just battles continuing the entire race long. We saw people battling each other.
It's what we want to see in Celeritas. We want to see, hard and clean racing all the way through the field. This is the best battle on screen at the moment, but I'm sure that FedEx and Dawidek are trading fastest sector times against each other. A little bit of touch contact from Snarf on Lankavas through turn 1. It definitely seems like turn 1 is the one that you're most at risk at losing a front wing.
Yeah, that is a turn where it looks like an overtaking opportunity, but a lot of the time it is really difficult to make an overtake there because there's really only one line through that corner.
And it seems as if it's a big differentiator in the grid for braking points. I think people being surprised by the car in front repeatedly. We've lost BMW Oosterveer. I'm not sure why. I don't know if we'll be able to get hold of him.
I think he's in the pits.
I think if he's in the pits, he's DNF'd on the screen, on my screen at least. So maybe he will re-emerge if he's still on yours, Branch. But yeah, I just got a retired from session notification here. Interesting. So FedEx, the first of the top 6 to pit. He's gone onto medium tyres, looking to make the second 2/3 of the race run. Will he get an undercut? Will he actually end up losing out to Renko, Lankavas or Snuff with an overcut? He does cross the white line on the way out of the pits. He'll be pretty mad that I spotted that on stream, because I'm sure he'll get himself reported if anybody chooses to watch it back. But FedEx comes out with Lightning, makes a pass immediately, so not too much traffic ahead, but he can see David ahead. It's by no means is it a clear track ahead of FedEx.
I will say, while it's not a clear track, it might actually play to his benefit a little bit to be in a DRS train while man in first is not.
Yeah, and Dawidek goes back through, so does not pit. Neither does Renko or Lankavas. Snarf, though, does. So it's going to be really interesting to see where does FedEx runner come out relative to the cars they were fighting with originally. FedEx runner making a pass because of David's pit stop. So FedEx up to 5th, absolutely perfectly timed for him. He pits slightly ahead of the other drivers, and they all go and obligingly get out of his way and head into the pits. So he's got a nice clear track ahead of him now, no more DRS, but those tyres will be up to temperature in that first lap.
Yeah, this is a big lap for him, because I would have to assume that Dawidek's going to come in this lap.
Yeah.
You can't really go much longer than this on these soft tires. So this will be big to watch to see if FedEx is able to catch up to his teammate.
He's got about, I think he's going to be using his ERS. He's got a good 70% right now. So if he's going to make, if he's going to make hay on his teammate, it's now or never. And he certainly saved some ERS and some plenty of tyre life. So he's coming through the final 2 corners. I fancy Dawidek. He's finished his pit stop, so he'll be on his way out. Where is this going to see FedEx runner? I think Lankavas pits, Dawidek comes out, and FedEx runner just comes through the first corner, so he's gained by about a second. Yeah.
Josh on the hard tires jumped him. That is a really, I did not expect that at all.
No, and Josh will be pitted to the end if he doesn't have any incidents or penalties. He could well be pitted to the end here.
Yeah, at the moment, Josh is in a really good position to be able to capture the win, because even if he's passed by Dawidek has 6 seconds of penalties to his name. So Josh could essentially just sit behind in the DRS train, make sure he stays there as long as possible, and could end up getting a win here.
Big surprise for me. Price is back up to 4th, Branch.
Yeah, that is pretty surprising. Looks like he also did that same exact strategy.
Yeah.
So possibly the hard tire looked like it could have been the better choice there, hitting a little bit earlier and off that hard tire, because both of them have jumped a huge amount of drivers.
I think the hard is fine if you can live with that warm-up lap and you don't get a safety car. The hard works really well for some drivers, especially drivers like Pricey, who tend to be very, very aggressive on their tyres. But we've certainly seen throughout the history of this season Plenty of drivers struggling to keep heat in the hard tyres if there's any change in conditions. Speaking of which, no real change in the look of the sky from the perspective of our drivers or from the trackside cameras, but there's certainly a lot of mist and fog and humidity around at the Red Bull Ring.
I do have an update on that. Actually, Wongfi said that there's no rain expected. It should just be overcast.
Okay, great. Dawadek has got by Josh. As you say, though, there's a clear distinction in terms of penalty situations. So right now, Pricey and Dawadek have penalties. Ivan has 9 seconds, and then on 3 seconds, Snarf, Senna, and Trunders. But Josh looking good. FedEx looking good. FedEx is within Dawadek's penalty range as well. So interesting stuff. And Lightning, who will need to make a pit stop again. Lightning currently up to P5. His teammate Waitsy, P7. I think Waitsy's pitted to the end now.
Yeah, I believe it seems like pretty much everyone is on the one-stop strategy.
Yeah.
We'll be interested to see what kind of, or where Lightning and Ivan will be able to put themselves out. But it looks like with the way the timing sheet looks, they are going to lose a decent amount of positions when they pit.
Looks like the big loser through the pit stop period there was Lankavas, down behind Snarf and Renko now. But we do have battle recommencing, this time joining with the hard tyre shod Waitsy in P7, with Renko just behind, Snarf behind him, Lankavas just outside of DRS, but I'm sure we'll be entering DRS pretty soon. So very different tyre situation for these drivers. I imagine Waitsy's hards on 9 laps will be offering slightly more grip than fresh mediums for maybe 1 lap, and then they will have a great deal more. I'm not going to hang out with Snarf for very long because I think he's on the bad connection. Yeah, so he gets by Waitsy. How long and how hard will Waitsy battle with these guys? Not really, I suppose, in the same race. He'll be hoping to stay with them and get them at the end potentially. But Waitsy running around the outside. Is now on the outside of him. Yeah.
Yeah, that is that inside right there on that corner. You can get the switchback in the corner before it, but you have to get completely in front of the guy on your inside, or else you have the better traction going into that corner. A great move by Snarf there to keep the position after making the pass. I've noticed that he has been... Oh! Lightning off!
For the second time tonight, we see Lightning making a mistake in the 3rd sector of the track. It looks like he's lost the front wing on the final corner. A long drive round to go in for repairs. Lap 20 of 36. I don't think he'll be able to put softs on and run 16 laps, will he, Branch?
No, he will not be able to. He's going to probably have to end up putting on hards and hoping that they have pace.
Terrible luck for Lightning there. Really awful timing to make a mistake like that. So it looks like another set of mediums are likely the choice for Lightning here. Lankavas, great move on the outside of Snarf. Really, really good move.
Oh, look out, Snarf!
Who have we got now? Okay, so Lankavas round him. This time as he recovers.
It's pretty crazy. He went side by side with Waitsy there through that corner. Must have locked up a little bit and tapped him. Had somewhat of a half spin and then almost lost it again and Lankavas passed him.
Why are drivers making a mistake at this point in the race, Branch?
I've noticed that Snarf has been really, really aggressive under braking, and it's creating a lot of problems because it looks like he's outbraking himself a lot.
Lankavas showing himself in Waitsy's mirrors, but it ends up just turning into more of a defense against Snarf than really an attempt at an attack. Looks like Snarf he's completely drained his ERS, so that's down to single percentage, so he's really going to struggle to harvest that back, although I think they're on equal performance. I presume they're on equal harvesting deployment ability as well, the cars, so was going to say the Mercedes tends to harvest better, but I think the cars are on multiplayer equal performance.
Yeah.
Even with regard to the technology behind them.
Yeah, he is going to have a pretty difficult time getting the ERS back. I've noticed he's out of everyone around him, at least, he has been the most aggressive under braking. He's gaining a lot of his time there.
But he's also looking quite leery under. He's really on the edge. He's driving at 10 tenths, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It looks like FedEx has caught up to Josh.
Oh, nice.
Now.
Okay. Get distracted by this battle that just seems to go run and run and run, all revolving around Lankavas tonight. But yeah, let's check in with FedEx runner. He should be able to get by Josh relatively straightforward on these laps. But will the mediums be showing signs of wear at this point on 7 laps?
I wouldn't say this. I would say that they're probably, if anything, in their window at this point.
Great.
Yeah, I would say probably around 14 to 15 laps, and then we'll start to see them really start to fall off. I'm not sure about the hard tires because I didn't do any practice on the hard tires. The soft medium was in my opinion the better strategy, so that was the one that I practiced.
Yeah. Well, he's going to move to the outside, get the job done already on DRS before the braking zone, and that's not what we want to see at all. That was too easy.
However, this track does bring the challenge of the pass is not over when you make the pass. You have to avoid the pass in the next section, although it looks like he's already done that. Josh just seems to be just a little bit slower on those hard tires.
No, FedEx has got bags more grip here, and really enjoying the run. Josh has got a lot more ERS, so he's kind of keeping that in his pocket for later. You don't want to necessarily just keep ERS for the sake of it. You do need to be deploying it throughout the race. Otherwise, you're just carrying around a heavy battery for nothing. But yeah, it needs to give you. It needs to be giving you something, Branch, every lap. It's just a matter of how much, right?
Absolutely.
Well, let's go back. This has gone by.
Keep the FedEx here.
Yeah.
Snarf is making a move.
Oh, okay. Quite interesting. Snarf is weaving around. I mean, he does seem to be glitching every time I watch him, so I'm assuming his connection's not amazing. Yeah.
It doesn't look like he's doing that on my screen.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll either blame Snarf's connection or the fact that my kids are streaming right now as well. So that could be it. Josh is staying with FedEx runner, it looks like, for a couple of laps, just to... Oh, you're kidding. He's pushing hard to get fastest lap. I noticed he just got fastest lap. It's all about those last 2 corners for Lightning tonight.
Yeah, you have to be careful with them. They're dangerous. You know, they're quick, and the mentality of these drivers is, I want to go through that corner as quick as I possibly can, but when you're just a little bit too on edge going through that corner, it can lead to catastrophic events like what we'll see with Lightning.
Dowdek will not be thanking him for running around on soft tires, all up in his grill here, as he's on a different strategy and he crashed in front of him. I think Dowdek will be rather wishing Lightning would calm down for a couple of laps and let him get away. Because the last thing you want is someone else's ghost drifting in and out of your cockpit as you're leading a race by 5 seconds when you already have 6 seconds of penalties. So, yeah, not a good solution. Yeah. In your eyesight.
Not only that, but Lightning is picking up DRS off of Dowdek.
Interesting. Okay. And I mean, Lightning's going to have to pit again anyway. He really could get himself out of the lead battle or the lead position and not affect our leader, given that he's not really going to make a great impact, and he's only here really to get fastest lap at this point, I think. Running around in 14th with 3 spins.
Senna is off now.
Okay. Trunders has just pitted, as so is Wongfi. Wong Fei is pitted from the hards to softs, so going to see out the last 10 laps on the soft tyres. Look to Wong Fei for challenging some of the drivers at the moment, as Lankavas and Snarf resume their battle, or at least we resume watching their battle, which hasn't really stopped the whole race through. Waitsy holding them off as well in front. Waitsy still only P6 on 17 lap old hard tyres. This is going to seem like a long race for him on those hards.
Yeah, he's going to really be struggling at the end, most likely. As we see Senna retire most likely in the pits, I believe. Yeah, it looks like,
oh, that's a shame.
Senna might have retired in the pits.
So we're down to 13 runners, which is plenty for a Division 1 race lately. It's looking good. And Josh is really impressing me, Branch. He's staying with FedEx Runner.
Yeah, this is real. He kept it within that DRS, and he's just kind of sat back there and just let FedEx do the let FedEx cut a hole in the air, probably saving a little bit of ERS. He's not really even trying to necessarily make a move. He's just trying to keep with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's on hard tyres. It's very unusual, very unlikely for Josh to be able to make a pass that sticks on FedEx Runner. So it really is the better strategy for him. But he could do with being within 6 seconds of the leader. Yeah,
currently he is, but just barely in that margin.
Yeah.
So it would probably benefit him a little bit to maybe try and get past FedEx at some point to keep himself in that 6-second range. I'm not sure if he'll be able to do it necessarily, but nonetheless, he is doing a great job of keeping himself in the battle right now.
Absolutely. Looks like Renko not making a move because Pricey pits again. So Pricey is heading back into the pits. Is he going to pay off any of those penalties? No. Pricey now up to 12 seconds of penalties with Ivan as our most penalised drivers tonight. So winning that somewhat unpleasant award. We should probably do an award for most penalties at the end of the season as well. So congratulations to Quinn already for that one. I think, yeah, as Josh just sneaks out of that 6 seconds to Dawadek, but I'm pretty sure Josh would be happy with a hard tyre compromise strategy run to the podium tonight. Anyway, I don't think necessarily he's would be too greedy for a win or a second place. But I guess we'll see. I don't know if you can have a look for us, Branch, at how many warnings Dawadek's on right now, and FedEx Runner potentially.
Unfortunately, I don't know if you can necessarily look at the warnings. I wish that was. I
think you can see them on Race Director, can you not?
Oh, yeah, I guess you can. I forgot about that.
Josh tries to make a move on FedEx Runner actually there, just getting really, really close, and 4/10, 3/10 now. So Josh, just to contradict everything I was just saying, makes a move on the outside of turn 4. They're going to be side by side, heading in. I wonder if FedEx Runner's mediums are just he's starting to feel the deg on those mediums, and he just, ends up running back behind Josh. So Josh on a bit of a stormer here to try and take the win. But they've both dropped out of range of Dawadek, and Dawadek was going to be laughing to himself inside the helmet because Josh has now got work to do to gain on Dawadek on worse tyres.
Yeah. Looking at the race director, it looks like Dawadek does not have any more warnings. And this list is so long that I cannot tell if anyone else. It looks like FedEx actually does have 2 warnings right now. So he is running on 2 warnings. FedEx gave up
DRS, gave up the pass on the way into turn 1 to make sure he got the second bite of the cherry down into turn 2. They're running next to each other on track while the game decides we want to look at the rear wing of one of them. Little bit of contact, wheel to side pod. Josh getting the better out of turn 4, heading into turn 5 ahead. This has cost them 2 seconds, Branch, in the fight for the win here.
Yeah, it seems they've given up on trying to keep with Dawadek and just are trying to battle at this point for that second place podium spot.
I'm really not sure on the wisdom of that from both of them. to drop so far back behind Dawidek.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Josh is planning on Dawidek losing some pace here at the end, but it seems that, if anything, Dawidek has just been trying to reserve his tires to the end.
Yeah.
Keeping them in somewhat of a window.
Fastest lap currently sitting with Lightning, who may not see the end of the race given his pirouetting tendencies tonight. FedEx trying to go up the inside through turn 1. He's heading down the hill now into turn 3. Gets up the inside safely. A good smooth pass, maybe a little bit of wheel rubbing that I would place the blame more at Josh on that one. Josh down to 27% ERS. FedEx runner almost drained down to the early teens, and still spending to get away from Josh. So Dawidek hasn't got the fastest lap at the moment. Price is faster than him, and so is Lightning. I don't think Dawidek's likely to go a huge amount faster, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would not expect him to be able to go much faster than he is right now. He is likely saving his tires. He's been saving ERS pretty well. He's sitting just above 50% right now.
Yeah.
He's been using it pretty cautiously, just making sure that he can stay ahead of those behind him. It looks like at this point, FedEx and Josh with that battling have kind of hurt their tires, and Dawidek seems to have a pace advantage.
Yeah, FedEx, I think they've spent some of their tyre life on this battle with each other and have dropped completely out of contention for the lead. I don't see them catching Dawidek by 3 seconds. In 4 laps, we have just 4 complete laps to run now. Lightning goes faster still off 104.8, which is a pretty respectable race lap time.
That is a great race time.
I think he's been lapped. Josh going around the outside. Is FedEx pitting? So FedEx not happy on his tyres, completely giving up that podium position. I wonder if he's going to lose out to Renko as well. So Josh, yeah, let's stay with FedEx.
Maybe trying to pick up that extra point, but if he falls out of the podium, he completely loses it. It looks like Renko's going to pass him right now.
Ooh, okay, that's a lot of work for FedEx runner to do to get back on the podium, and and he runs over the white line again, as you say. Yeah, feeds back into the worst possible position with Waitsy and Lankavas. He's going to get the job done on brand new tyres, and he will enjoy the grip right now, but he's really made life very, very difficult for himself. Battling with Josh, using up every ounce that's left on those tyres, and that was a really late pit stop for FedEx.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, honestly. He must be going for fastest lap, but that decision doesn't really make sense when you think about the fact that he would score more points if he didn't get the fastest lap and kept the position that he was in.
Right.
I don't really understand this call, to be honest.
No. He now needs to pass Renko and get fastest lap in so doing to leave him to make up for that decision, I guess. But I suppose if he felt the car was going slower, and he was going to lose to Renko anyway, potentially it was the right thing to do. It's just slightly confusing for us watching. He's spending everything he's got in ERS before he comes up to the back of the car in front, just to get into DRS zone, I guess. Here, it's lap 34 of 36. Dawidek from Josh from Renko. FedEx runner racing and chasing hard behind him. Waitsy's in 5th place, hasn't made up a huge amount of places at this stage, but Lankavas is challenging him down into turn 2. Waitsy, yeah, interesting. So 3 different types of tyre going on in this battle. We'll watch those for a minute, and Pricey really just pushing Lankavas around the corner. Tends not to work well in Formula cars if you try pushing people around corners.
If FedEx picks up the penalty,
it's all going wrong for him. He's far enough ahead of Waitsy to stay away from that, but that will just cost him the podium completely.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get this podium. He's running out of ERS. He's gonna have to get past Renko and then get 3 seconds ahead of him with 2 laps to go. Renko essentially just, it looks like he gave that up right there to get DRS on this straight, possibly.
And it looked easy, like but his tyres are running out. His 18-lap mediums are running out now. And he's been busy tonight, unlike Dawadek. So while their tyres are the same age, I'm pretty sure Renko's will be in worse state than Dawadek's, who is just imperious again. 13 seconds his lead from Josh, the second place driver right now. FedEx has a big job on his hands to get 3 seconds, get a second and a half plus over Renko in 1 lap. It's not impossible, but he's just made life so much harder for himself having to do this. Watching with...
He's going to have to gain a second and a half in this lap alone.
Yeah, and it's not going up very quickly right now. But Dawadek heading into the penultimate corner, I think, here. No, not quite. He's about halfway around the final lap. Yeah. Running out of fuel. But I think that tends to flash on your last lap anyway, even if you've got a lap left.
Yeah.
So FedEx up to nearly 2 seconds ahead of Renko at this point. Dawadek coming through the final couple of corners, looking to make yet another win for AlphaTauri at this late stage in the season. Great drive, completely unchallenged from Dawadek. Crosses the line, good win in the Red Bull Ring for him in race 15 of 16 in our season. Josh, somewhat quietly in the first part of the race. Well, not...
oh my goodness.
Yeah, not a conventional way to go across the line, but he crosses the line there. It looks like, is Renko going to cross just 3/10 away from the podium after FedEx got third? Lankovas got 5th place, Waitsy 6th, Pricey 7th. I don't know if he will hold on to that as David crosses the line. No, Pricey deposed to 8th with David getting 7th. The rest of the field virtually close to being lapped, I think. Wang Fei and Ivan, the two Renaults, together in 9th and 10th. And then we have Trunders about to cross the line. He will get 11th place, the worst place to finish on the grid, with, I think, was it Snuff and Lightning behind those two drivers. We had 13 finishers tonight. Wow, that one went really quickly. Renko driver of the day tonight as well.
I noticed as well, Lightning picked up fastest lap at the end, so it looks like it was a FedEx runner's bid to get that fastest lap was taken away. I mean, essentially, that strategy was lost.
Yeah, heartbreaking last section of the race there for FedEx runner, who's racing entirely as Michael Schumacher in an AlphaTauri. Whatever floats your boat, I suppose. Josh will be very pleased, I'm sure, to get himself up to 2nd place. FedEx holding on to that 3rd place by the skin of his teeth, Branch.
Yeah. Yeah, I really... I'll be honest, I really just don't... I did not understand that that call there. Personally, I would have just stayed in the battle with Josh and just played my cards in keeping that position.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Well, we have Dawadek, Josh, FedEx runner, as we described several times now on the podium. Renko 4th, Lankovas 5th, Waitsy 6th. David is 7th. Pricey down to 8th at the end there, with Wang Fei and Trunders making out our points positions. Our finishers were Ivan, Snuff and Lightning, and we lost Senna, Oosterveer and Fry Pepper pretty early on. Fastest lap with Lightning, 104.6. I'm not sure, that might even be better than Lightning's qualifying time in the end there. So we'll catch up with them, but I'm pleased to say it looks like we've got Dawadek already.
Yeah, hello.
Hey Dawadek,
Hello.
You're sounding pretty chilled. Was that easy? Easy work?
To be honest, kinda, yeah. I mean, it was just a peaceful drive, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Nothing really happened.
Did you have fun out there, or were you hoping for people to start catching you a bit more?
I mean, Josh was doing not bad, you know. For a bit, I was a bit worried because he was staying within that 6-second range.
Yeah.
Of penalties. But then I realised that he pitted like a lap pitch, so eventually his tyres started dying, and I pitted like very late. I made my sauce last 15 laps, I think.
Mhm.
And then
And
yeah, I
is that where you lost those penalty points? Was that
mostly.
in trying to make those tyres last?
Yeah, I just couldn't turn. I don't know. It was in this fast speed section. I just felt so understeady. So yeah,
Okay.
it was mostly that. So yeah.
Wow. So what kind of percentage were those tyres on?
At the end of the race, they hit 70.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is on the edge of danger.
I can trump you on tyre wear, by the way.
Wait, he was on 87%.
You're kidding me.
Wow.
I guess.
No, I'm not. I was in the party with him. 87%.
Well, I guess when you've got
Craziness.
reduced damage, you can kind of run them a bit long, if you can hold on.
This
but
was on through.
yeah. Did you feel like you got everything out of pole position, Dawidek?
No, not at all. I was pretty annoyed about not being able to do my last run because I invalidated starting the lap.
Right.
And then invalidated both. So yeah, I had to just accept it.
Mhm. Okay. So what's your best time round the Red Bull Ring?
0.2, 0.3 maybe.
102.3.
Yeah.
Wow.
In
okay.
quality.
Awesome. Where does that put you in the world?
Well, time trial wise, on time trial I've got a 0.3, and that puts me like 300. So I don't know.
I've got 0.4. I think I'm in like top 650. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Dawidek, you are really bossing the end of this season and certainly helping the AlphaTauri mission to win the constructors. Were you disappointed to see Prime disappearing tonight and not showing up?
A little bit, because it's always interesting, you know, racing against Prime. He's probably one of the fastest drivers here, if not the fastest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's always fun racing against him.
And how much of FedEx Runner's race were you aware of tonight?
Not that much. Like, I knew his strategy and what lap we were pitting, but
Right.
I was a bit shocked when he pitted early because I myself know that the mediums can't last that long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a feeling he'd have problems at the end, but I didn't expect him to pit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we were kind of surprised by his late pit stop. But as you say, if the tyres weren't going to last, then they weren't going to last. But he gave up third place, he gave up fourth place, and ended up then getting a penalty trying to get fourth and third back. So it was really hairy at the end for him. I mean, he did manage to get the podium, but not a maximum result for AlphaTauri tonight.
Yeah, it's still, I think, good enough, especially with Prime not being here today.
Yeah, 1-3 is still a lot of points. You guys had a good team effort, I would say.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. Well, Branch, who do we have next in the press conference? Thanks, Dawidek.
I believe
Thank
you
you.
have FedEx.
I think Josh joined as well, did he?
Oh yeah, both of them are here.
Good.
Well, let's talk to Josh because you got second place. So we'll talk to you first. Congratulations. Were you expecting that tonight? It looked like on the hard tyres that was a pretty good performance.
Well, I was on Rocket League at 5 to 6, so I wasn't expecting it at all. No, but Fry said that he races here, so I asked if there's any reserve spots. I thought it was going to be at 8 o'clock, like Formula C, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll do that after I've sorted the house out a bit. But then it was at 6, so I thought, yeah, I'll jump on and do it. Yeah, it was
Sweet.
fun.
Yeah. So not a lot of practice and sweating going on this week then ahead of this race.
Sorry, can you repeat that? My mic.
Yeah. Not a lot of practice before you turned up tonight.
Quali was my first lap today.
Wow.
Well, nice one. And
I had Fry trying to chase me and give me a penalty for the majority of quali, thanks to him. But I evaded him.
What about the battle with FedEx Runner? How was that from your seat?
Yeah, it was good fun. It did feel like it was Christmas with the amount of red flashing lights that I was seeing for how many laps, which is quite it's quite encouraging. He did well. I was really surprised that he pitted though. If I'm honest, I risked it going out with after I think it was Price you spun and a VSC came out. I went onto the hards because we were so close to the pit lane, so I just tried to be right with the extra time I'd gained from it, and I ended up being on I think 85% on the rears. So I knew they were going to be harsh at the end, so I was running on 50, 52, 53 brake bias for most of the race, apart from a few corners. But yeah, it was good fun. The battle was good. It's just hard with the DRS around here because I was not gaining any until I was in his DRS, and then I would gain a little bit. But yeah, it was good fun.
Excellent. No, it was good to see, and we saw a lot of quite respectful battles up and down the grid tonight, and which was great to see. But you got there in the end, and you got second place. Was there at any point you thought you might be able to get Dawadek with his 6 seconds of penalties? You were staying with him for quite a way.
We were, yeah, but there was when the hards were a bit more fresher, it was a bit easier, and obviously FedEx was on mediums as well, so I was just hanging his drift until his tyres started to fall off. We could have, but I think by the time the hards had clocked off a bit, I just saw him running away with it.
Awesome. Anything from you, Branch, at all?
I went for the normal strategy, but
well, I was gonna ask how you were able to jump everyone so easily, but I assume that was just from being able to sneak a pit stop in the VSC.
Yeah, the VSC came out as I was going around the end of the second sector, so it was pretty nice. So I just ran into the pits, checked on the hards on the MFD, and then just carried on. Luckily, I came out ahead of Ivan and a few others who were on hards and softs, so I kind of dodged a bullet there, and it was quite good timing. But yeah, it was just my own race for quite a bit. I had free air, so I had all the advantage coming into the other people who was going to pit from the softs, because they die off terribly around here.
Well, fantastic stuff. Great driving, absolutely great, and congratulations on a good second place from us. So
cheers.
Yeah, nice to see you joining as a reserve, and yeah, maybe we'll see you next weekend at some point, as well as Formula C.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I don't race on Saturdays, so I might come around.
Awesome. Well, it doesn't appear like most of Division 1 are racing on Saturdays anymore either, so there's probably going to be a seat available in the final race. Although I hope we get a good showing for the final race of the season. Thanks, Josh. Good to talk to you.
Cheers,
I think we've got FedEx, our final podium position runner.
Yep. Yes, I'm here as well.
Hey, FedEx. I don't know if your voice is recovered from some excellent commentary last night, but congratulations on just getting that car to the end and staying and getting the podium by 3/10.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. Renko told me he ran out of fuel, so that's why the gap, I think, from 2.8 went up to 3.3. But incredible. Yeah, I got my second warning on lap 3, so I thought I did pretty well in not getting another warning. And
yep.
I think if Josh would have let me pass and just would have stuck in my DRS, not trying to battle with me, I think we could have stayed with Davidek.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started battling. We lost then 3 seconds in like 2 laps, and yeah, I was on 68% before I pit, and I thought, I mean, we basically have constructors. I should get P3. Anyways, I tried for the fastest lap, but Renko got in my way a bit at the end. But yeah, all in all, we've now got constructors, I think. I think we're leading by 52 points, which Haas can't get. So we are really happy. Was more or less a boring race at the start. But also I need to mention the pad traction at the start is too OP. I hope Codemasters fix that for 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good call on that one. I can't quite believe you would say anything about your race was boring tonight, because we seem to be seeing you all the time on stream. You either had someone in front or someone challenging you for most of the race. But where were your tyres on that first pit stop? Were you trying to get an undercut, or had your tyres just run out?
Well, I in practice I only did basically short qualifyings, and I think I did one run until lap 13, and my tires were at 73%, so I knew to go to lap 14 makes no sense. I did think I could stretch to 14 since it wasn't, well, the sun wasn't shining, so tires wouldn't overheat, and with the VSC. But yeah, in the end I just said I played safe. Also, when the VSC came out, the pit lane line just started, and if I would have crossed, I maybe would have been reported and got a penalty, so I stayed out. But yeah, played it safe in the end.
Speaking of which, when we talk about pit lane lines, we did see twice on your outlaps you crossing that line. Is that because your eyes are on the car that you're battling with, or your gaps or something, or are you is that your sort of outlap line that you keep crossing that line on the way out the pits?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest. For me, the exit, like at Sandvort, it's a really long line, but here you're not straight away on the racing line, so it's not a big issue. But it's also the entry line is what I'm mainly speak. Also, some drivers in Division 2, I'm not gonna name anyone, but many cross the entry line.
Okay.
So yeah, I played it safe and paid off in the end.
It was a good result. What about you, Branch? Any questions for FedEx here?
So you said your tires were on 68% when you pit that second time? Okay. That was well, we were a little puzzled by the decision, but at the end of the day, if your tires aren't going to make it to the end of the race, you got to pit.
I mean, if I would have continued, I probably would have had tire wear like Josh. But I mean, it's his first race in Division 1. He can send it, there's nothing to lose. I mean, if I maybe would have gotten a puncture or something, even then the constructors would more or less be not 100% secure, but yeah, basically secure, if you know what I'm speaking. But yeah, either way, it didn't make a big difference. So.
You're driving a high percentage race to get that constructors championship, but if you feel like that's done and run tonight and it's over, what are your thoughts about the next race, about the final race of the season? Will you be balls out, fully send?
I don't know. I have 4 exams the week after, so probably not a lot of practice.
Yeah, I think exam season is definitely hitting our drivers at the moment.
Mainly, I think I'll just try and hold up the pack behind Prime and Davidek, and they can duke it out in front.
Well, we're kind of relying on Prime to do a last to first challenge or a qualify on hards challenge or something like that. So true. Yeah, let's hope that's what's going to happen. But congratulations, a good third place in a dramatic race. Looked like you were, I say, driving high percentages and in battles, you struck a really good compromise between aggression and caution. Yeah, no, it looked good.
I'm not too happy with Josh, because at turn 4, many times more than half of the car was on the inside curb, but I got pushed onto it. But yeah, I didn't spin, so it was fun. And yeah, thanks for doing comms once again.
No problem. It's been a relatively easy weekend for commentary actually so far, so no problem at all. Thanks a lot for stopping by on the press conference. Any last question, Branch?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. Well, thanks for stopping by again, FedEx, and congratulations. 1-3 for AlphaTauri and a podium for yourself.
Thank you.
Great job. Well, Branch,
next week.
Branch, it's probably time for Branch's final thoughts.
Yeah, well, it was a really fun race. You expect a lot of aggressive battling in Austria, and we definitely got a lot of that. Not a lot. We didn't see any over aggression necessarily. We saw a few guys that were spinning, but that was more down to just being on the edge and pushing the car than being around people necessarily. So all around it was a great race to watch. It would have been nice to see maybe a battle for the lead, but at the end of the day, any battle will really take.
Definitely.
And, Dawodek had an incredible race. That was just dominating from start to finish. Pricey got him at the beginning. He passed Pricey and then didn't really give it up the rest of the race. So
yeah, there was a certain maturity to the way Dawodek drove tonight. No panic when Pricey got by. Just a kind of a self-confidence or a surety in his driving that he knew he'd get him, and it didn't matter. It wasn't necessarily panic stations. I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, the good thing about this track is that when and the experienced drivers will do exactly that. They'll know that there's overtaking opportunities. There is no reason for me to be overly aggressive on the first lap trying to keep a position, and he did exactly what he needed to do to get the win.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Yeah, it was impressive. It was measured. It was calm, and he certainly sounded calm at the end of it as well. He hadn't been stressed too much through that race. Well, that was race 15 of our 16 race season. Enjoy it while it lasts. I don't think we'll be running 16 race seasons again. At least we won't be running 16 race seasons into exam zone and on the weeks where the sun comes out in the northern Europe, because that's really interfered with our attendance. Last race of the season. I'm hoping for a big final hurrah next week. Branch, any predictions for Mexico?
I predict carnage in Turn 1. That's what I'm saying. That's my prediction. We're watching. This weekend Azerbaijan Grand Prix is on, and Mexico is kind of the purpose-built track version of Azerbaijan.
Right.
In terms of it, like Crofty said it best on commentary today, where he said it's half Monza, half Monaco. And we'll see a lot of that with Mexico, where there's a lot of really high-speed sections followed by really low-speed sections. Mm-hmm. And the compromise is something that every driver's going to have to make, and the best drivers are the ones that will be able to make that compromise work the best. Absolutely.
So carnage into Turn 1 is Branch's prediction for next week. Join us, won't you, please, for our final race of the season. I'm sure we'll plan some special races or evenings of racing, and Formula C will still be continuing on a Tuesday night for a couple of more weeks while the drivers wait and pre-order the next game, get used to it, and we'll start the first season and look forward to it. As we start the first season of the new game, our second season overall. Thanks for staying with us in the chat throughout tonight, and for the comments. We'll be with you again on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. UK for Formula C, and then normally, as ever, we'll be with you at 6 p.m. UK time, Friday and Saturday night for the final races of our divisional season. It's been a lot of fun. We've enjoyed our trip to Austria tonight, and an awful lot of close battles. It's been a real spell of that kind of action in the last half of our season, and I don't expect a great deal of difference when we go to the straightaways of Autodromos Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. Branch, it's been fun again being with you, and thanks for commentating. Thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you all on the next race day.